Before the existence of best-selling international author Quan Mills,
It's me again.
there was another author that would write at a blazing speed, someone that was fueled only by the purest coke you could ever discover. He wrote masterpieces such as The Shawshank Redemption, and then turned around and wrote a book about a killer truck. I mean, seriously, we're talking about a genius that I can't fully comprehend. Stephen King, a guy that would write a story that is so beautiful, like Green Mile, and then write something like The Langoliers about balls that eat people. If you want to talk about a guy that contains multitudes, then I've got no better option than Stephen King right over here. And he produced another amazing story with The Life of Chuck, something that he has to have written decades ago. I mean, oh, really? He wrote this in 2020. This man is still writing fire in the current day. This is a story that is so beautiful in every way possible, and I could easily rate it as one of the greatest movies that I have seen this year. Though I do have to say that the promotional material for this movie has been more than just a little misleading. I mean, if you're just gonna take the promotional material's word for it, this is an average feel-good movie that's just gonna raise your optimism about today. Meanwhile, you're gonna get a pretty timely story that has a pretty haunting presence because you know that something is going to inevitably happen, and we're just following things that happened along the way. I mean, in the movie The Life of Chuck, we see our titular Charles Krantz on his deathbed dying as the world around him is decaying and just going into utter madness. But then again, this is probably the calmest portrayal of an apocalypse that I have seen in a movie, period. It's so well done because it doesn't make you feel all too depressed. I mean, there is still some sadness in there, of course, but it's not in a way that tries to torture you. This is a movie that really tries to talk about the good parts of life, the struggles that people face, and the things that might make life worth it after all. The optimism that this movie has is going to be seen in human connection, people talking with each other and sharing these really deep relationships, or there's going to be in the sharing of creative arts like in dance or in music, or there's the beauty in the little things or the things that many people might find mundane like math, where Mark Hamill gives one of the best performances that I have seen him in forever, really. A lot of people are going to be echoing the same sentiment over here about how good Mark Hamill is, but I just wish that I got to see more of him in the movie. I mean, he's used at the last act, but he's only given that one real piece to shine, and it just shows that Mark Hamill still has so much in him. He is fantastic in this movie, and he's actually going to be in another Stephen King film soon enough, The Long Walk, and I just imagine that he's going to be just as good in that movie too. So I'm pretty thrilled on that. But this movie is, in my opinion, it is so special in the way that it conveys its messages. The movie does not feel preachy. It doesn't feel hopeless, and it doesn't feel overly optimistic. It feels genuinely human. The best way that I can really describe it is just that word. Even these larger than life concepts that the movie likes to throw at us when it comes to like meteorology, when it comes to things like the universal calendar, they're brought down into a human context where we see that our existence as humanity, it has only existed on the last day, in the last second of the universe's existence. The movie's always trying to reframe our place in the world. This movie might not be for everybody, and that's okay. It's not an action-packed thrill ride or anything of the sort like that. This is just people walking around as we're getting this contemplation on like existence as a whole. And some people might find that a little boring. But the mystery and the way that it was set up in that first act, the first part of the movie, I was so invested in everything that was going on. Why is the world falling apart in this way? Why are so many things happening everywhere at the same time? And what's the supernatural element behind Chuck as a whole? And the way the movie's going through, telling Chuck's life in reverse, it fits so well. Because there are little hints, little things thrown out all around that make you understand that first act so much better. So by the end of the movie, you fully understand exactly what happened at the beginning of the movie. That Walt Whitman poem that keeps being recited over and over and over again is so genuinely perfect. I've heard it in passing before, but I've never given it too much thought. That line, "I am large, I contain multitudes," is now something that I can only perceive as being so amazing. The interpretation of what that means and how that is displayed to us in the first act is equal parts amazing and also terrifying because we don't know what happens after. And while the story builds on this mystery of who Chuck can be as a person, we soon learn that he's just an ordinary dude. What we saw in Act 1 isn't that the world was ending, it's that Chuck his life ended. The world that we saw being destroyed was the world that he built inside of his head. That was the multitudes that he had inside of him. Every single person he's met, every single fictional story that he's created for them, the places, the continents, everything that he's filled up, this is the end of his life. When I started picking up on that in the second act, everything just clicked and it felt so perfect to see. The only real Stephen Kingism that you're gonna see in this film is gonna be that room that was built in the Victorian era, because that's the only part that has that supernatural ghostly presence to it. It's a room that when you enter, you're able to see parts of the future, people's deaths, whether it be your neighbors or your family members. It's something that's haunting, and of course, the worst part about it is the waiting. Another exceptional line delivered to us by a drunk Mark Hamill over here. My God, he did phenomenal. If we're talking about how good the actors were, everyone in this cast was phenomenal. I didn't know that it was gonna be this star-studded. Every single person in this cast was so good. Even a conversation about the internet going down is gonna sound a little chaotic, a little messy, but also funny and lighthearted at the same time. It works so well and everyone gives it their all. Even Nick Offerman, who we only hear as a voiceover in the movie, carried the story along so well. He had that certain lighthearted charm to him. I don't know, but it just made it feel a little bit more magical as you were following the story along. All in all, if you're looking at Chuck's life in general, you would be seeing someone that has all the right to be angry and mad at the world. He's lost everyone in his life, but at the end, even when he sees his own death past that door, he's the kind of guy that says, well, I'm just gonna continuously just live, enjoy it as much as I can. I know that that's where I'm gonna end. I know that I'm gonna die young at the age of 39, but I'm gonna keep going despite it all. I don't know, but that last scene for me almost caused me to cry right on the spot. I teared up several times in this film, but that last little part, that really got me. Is Life of Chuck anything that I was expecting? Not really, no. But it's a movie that makes me feel more fulfilled in a way after watching it. I gotta say, it is a beautiful movie. Mike Flanagan, the director of the movie, he's worked on other Stephen King works before, but I think this one has to be his best one by far. But Stephen King, overall, I don't know how you do it, how he does it. Just thank you for just continuously making stories, whether they be the craziest thing people have ever seen or just something that is a reflection on just the human condition. I don't know. I hope that man never stops writing, because there's also some other guy that's trying to catch up as fast as he can.
You all fucked up by introducing me to the Omegaverse.
But I'll end it with that. What did you guys think of Life of Chuck? If you haven't seen it, I don't know why you watched this video, because I feel like you would have gotten so much more out of watching that movie. So please, give it a try. As always, I was Randy, and I'll be seeing y'all next time.